I want to talk about radiation today. I want to discuss how is radiation affecting people. I have a little chart over here. You can find it at the on the website called whipinitiative.org, and it basically explains that what are the symptoms of the people that use the cell phone too much. And the symptoms of the electro hypersensitivity, they divided by in several classes. There's neurological, cardiac, respiratory, dermatological, and orthologic, okay, and others. There are a whole bunch of them. Just for the purpose of the discussion, let me just share some with you. Headache, depression, difficulty concentrating, anxiety, fatigue, tremors, muscle spasm. Uh, I want you to understand that this does not happen to everyone who uses it, but there are some very hypersensitive to electricity people that have difficulties talking on a phone, and they actually feel a little intimidated to talk about it because other people don't feel the same way that they feel. But the general, for the purpose of this discussion, is there are people who are hypersensitive to the EMF, electromagnetic field radiation. So I think everybody should be aware of this and consider that even though if we don't feel it, it still affects us. And the effect is this: everybody, all matters consist of the energy, because in essence, the molecules, the electrons, the particles, the quarks, they all consist of energy. When the energy is bundles up, creating these atoms and electrons and protons, neutrons, and electrons, it's all part of the it's type of energy that when it gets together creates the matter. So we are constructed of the same fabric and same matrix as the cell phone is, and every element has its own frequency signature, and that is harmonic. Humans have harmonic frequency signatures, whereas cell phones do not. Cell phones use different frequencies. As a matter of fact, cell phones use 5 different frequencies. It's a frequency of waiting for the call, frequency of ringing when call comes in, frequency of talking, frequency of listening, and frequency when you finish the conversation on the phone. So there are 5 different frequencies. So the modulator, the frequency modulator in your phone, has to convert your voice in some kind of a frequency language that will electromagnetically distort the field around you, and that field affects your field. So you have this effect of external frequencies affecting your own natural frequencies. So your body, in order to perform, has to fight the outside frequencies and perform its indigenous functions that the body has to have on its own. Okay, so when those two frequencies clashes, it creates a negative effect on a person. It stresses it out. Imagine this: if somebody doesn't know how to swim, or somebody doesn't or unconscious, you have to save him. So you have to swim in the right direction, hopefully with some kind of advancement, and then you have to carry somebody. In other words, you fight that extra force that you have on your hand, and then you still have to perform your own duties. Okay, so that's what's happening with our systems. So every system in our body gets affected, and affected. It's actually manifested in stress, and the way stresses happen is the DNA loses its geometry. The perfect DNA geometry has a configuration of the pyramid. The tips of the pyramid will carry a carbon molecule, because our life form is a carbon based life form. So basically, when the DNA has a configuration, geometrical configuration of the pyramid, it works. It has a better functionality as compared to the one that when it gets stressed out, the geometry breaks up. So imagine the spring that got overworked, and instead of being a nice tight coil, it's all worked out, and it's not geometrically as coiled. So that will constitute the stress on the level of the tissue for the molecules. So I just try to explain how the clashes of two energies work, and how that negative energy from cell phone or Wi-Fi on your laptop affects your own energy field. Uh, this all based on the understanding that humans do have their own energy field. The energy field that humans have is a sum of the fields of all the tissues and organs and elements that we have in our person, in our bodies. So just to wrap it up, uh, this was an attempt to explain how the cell phones affect you and how they distract your energy field by presenting their mechanical energy field, which is created for the purposes of the communication.